Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's matchup between the Jets from Aerospace and the Ravens from Innovation for the CRAL Championship matchup. Tonight we should have a good one. It's a 1 seed versus a 2 seed. This is Taylor Canterbury, and I'm here with
Greg Person. And yeah, Taylor, I think this is going to be an excellent matchup. The teams have faced twice over the regular season. Aerospace won both games, 3 sets to 1 and 3 sets to 2. But both teams have come a long way over the course of the season, and I think anything could happen tonight.
Absolutely, and being in the school, both of us have definitely felt the energy from class. Now it's brought its way to the hardwood, and we're ready for a good matchup between the ladies of both Aerospace and Innovation.
So as we're about to get started here, we'll just run you through the starting lineup. So for the Ravens of Innovation, coming up to serve is senior libero Kenya Hernandez, filling out the court. We have senior Castellani Hidalgo, number 4. We've got number 2, senior Vicky Merced, with a nice hit right there. In the center, number 12, sophomore Catherine Palombizio. And on the right side hitter, we've got senior Aquila DaCosta, and the setter who just received that one, senior Molly Corcoran.
All right, thank you, Greg. And first point goes to the Ravens.
Oh, they sure fought for it, though.
Absolutely. This is a ready to go bunch. And after this serve, we'll get into the starters for Aerospace. Let's see it. All right, for Aerospace, our starters are number 1, Faith Mitchell, a sophomore. Number 5, Adriana Ramirez, our only senior. Number 7, Antoinette Dingwall, she is a junior. Number 8, Kalia Brown, a senior. Number 10, Sydney Ball, a junior. And number 11, Hazel Patel, a sophomore. Let's see how the girls do. And point goes to the Jets.
Yeah, tough serve that landed right on the line, caught the Ravens looking for an ace.
Absolutely, Greg. And as we play, I think the crowd's going to notice that you know a little bit about volleyball yourself. You were a little bit of a player, huh?
I was. I played in high school and college, and I coached cross country in the fall season, but I'm an enthusiastic supporter of the Innovation team.
Enthusiastic supporter. They just tied it 2-2.
Yeah.
And being a non-volleyball player, I might have to rely on you for some advice on some of this terminology as the game goes on. So I appreciate that support on this end.
Yeah, so the cheer there that just kind of drowned us out a little bit, that the Innovation team gave was for a kill. So in volleyball, a kill is when you hit the ball and the other team is unable to receive it. An ace, then, like we talked about, being when you serve the ball and the other team is unable to receive it.
That is one thing I take pride in, is knowing my cheers. I know the ACE ACE chant. And I always try to participate when I'm a spectator and not doing my commentary on the side. All right, it's tied back up 3-3. We got Sydney Ball ready to serve for Aerospace.
So a point there for Innovation. Kenya Hernandez with the dig, which is when you bump pass on a serve or a hit. She tried to bump it over to setter Molly Corcoran. It was tight to the net. She made the smart decision to tip it over instead of setting, and I think it caught the Jets on that one. They were able to pick up a point.
Now, as Innovation takes a 2-point lead in our first set, Greg, let me ask you this. How important is it for teams to get momentum early out in the game as compared to the game as a whole? Is it early to get off to a good start?
It's certainly important. I mean, each set is going to be played best of 25 points. So you're trying to get to 25. You need to win by 2. And you're playing best of 5 overall. So right now, I think the Jets just got a point there.
Yeah, I think they awarded the Jets a point there.
Yes. So Innovation's up 5-4, but there's still at least 20 points to go to finish out the game. So it's really about sustaining that momentum.
Yep. So what you're saying is we got a long ways to go.
Absolutely. And it can really change from set to set. You got to win 3. If it goes to the 5th set, that is only to 15 points, which certainly changes the pace and the tone of the game as well.
Now, being a recreational volleyball player, playing with my buddies and stuff when we head to the beach, I know when I'm in that setting, having a good server is crucial. How important it is to have a good server at the high school level?
It's extremely important, and I got to say the CRAL League has come a long way. If you were at some of those early matches 6 years ago when they first introduced varsity sports, I mean, the matches were won and lost by which team could serve the ball over the net.
Right.
But you're getting very few faults and missed serves here, and we've seen it now, a couple of the ladies who have perfected a jump serve.
Absolutely.
And that's coming over pretty hard.
Well, I know if I was standing on the court, I would definitely be protecting myself before trying to make a play based on some of the velocity of these serves. And I know teaching middle school in the past, I've seen a lot of these girls since they were 6th graders, and now that they're on the varsity level, it's incredible the amount of experience and development they've had over the few years here at Aerospace.
Absolutely. That was junior Jonetzi Torres, number 8 for Innovation, who just subbed in and had a nice serve. And that's actually one of our freshman players there, Patrice Broughton, in the center, number 7, who went up for the hit. She hit it a little long, so it landed out, but she's definitely come a long way this season, and her height and her ability to jump is a huge boost to this team.
I bet being a freshman on this stage is an accomplishment in itself, so happy to see some of our younger generation making an impact on the game. Adriana Ramirez with the serve.
Good swing there from Hidalgo, number 4.
Kalia Brown hits it over.
Nice set. Freshman Patrice again. They put a block up, but she got it over.
Hazel Patel gets it over.
Ooh.
Kalia Brown with a nice defense there for Aerospace. Score is now 8-6. Aerospace is leading Innovation in the first set. Adriana Ramirez with the serve.
Now you might have heard on that play, not sure how much of the crowd you're getting, but the team yelling out free. That refers to when the play doesn't go as wanted. The setter is unable to set someone to hit. So it's just bumped over. That's considered a free ball, because if your defense is tight, it should be easy for you to set up your offense on the return.
They say you learn something new every day. I think I've learned about 5 new things just in the few minutes of this game. So thank you, Greg, for that. And Aerospace takes a point again there. Adriana Ramirez is set for her 3rd serve, I believe.
So another free ball there. Her serve's giving Innovation's defense a tough time. Tipped.
And a point goes to Aerospace.
Yep. And that was you saw Patrice Broughton there, number 7, getting her hand on the ball, jumping up to block. No teammates were there to cover, though, unfortunately.
Faith Mitchell keeps it alive to Adriana. Over to Hazel.
Molly with a set outside. Casciani pushes it over. Oh. Nice try. Again, Molly Corcoran, the setter, tried to tip it over, but she wasn't quite high enough, got blocked by the net.
It looks like we have a timeout for Innovation, a 60-second timeout. And while we're in this timeout, I would just like to talk about the level of play right now. I mean, it's 11-6, but It seems like both teams seem to be playing well. We've had some nice volleys. Just a few more fell Aerospace's way to start.
Yeah, I feel like these teams are pretty evenly matched, and they're getting points for the most part off of some solid swings and not on, little mistakes. So it definitely makes the game more exciting. Coach Lance from Innovation calling the timeout now, trying to reset the team. He and assistant coach Baker have been in this together since the team first founded. And I got to say, they've built up a nice program, and it's definitely the same over on the Aerospace side.
Absolutely. No, I'm happy to see both teams coming together nicely for a competitive matchup.
And the set was long, or the serve was long, rather. It's out.
Sub coming in for Innovation.
Yep, Aquila DaCosta checking back in. That was Lanesha Vargas, number 1, who was playing defense for her.
That came in hot. Great serve.
Yep. Molly Corcoran, our setter, with a nice ace right there.
Let's see if she can duplicate that. That was phenomenal.
Good set to the right side. Aquila unable to get it over. And it'll be 12-8 back to the Jets.
It looks like we have Hazel Patel serving, number 11 for the Jets. She's a sophomore here at Aerospace. Little jump to that serve.
Good recovery after a bad first pass, but Innovation can't quite get it over the net.
I taught Hazel in 7th grade, and I remember we used to have recess, and she would be practicing volleyball from the second we walked outside to the second we came back inside. It looks like it's paid off for her.
She hits that one long, but you bring up an interesting point. A lot of the kids come to our schools and they've played soccer, they've played basketball,
right,
they've done track, but many of them are brand new to volleyball.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the ability to pick up the skills and really hone your craft over maybe just a 4-year period in high school, or if you've started at the middle school level, is pretty impressive.
Absolutely. I think a big contributor for Aerospace, and based on the excitement that I see in Innovation Squad, is the camaraderie that the girls have with one another. I mean, they love playing together, they practice together, they're friends outside of school and outside of volleyball, and so I think that helps motivate each other to get better, and I think that's why we're seeing 2 very good teams battling it out here in the championship.
Yeah, it's an excellent point. Volleyball is a lot about communication, right? And if you build that team mentality, almost like family mentality, you're able to operate much better.
Absolutely.
You could be excellent at hitting the ball, but if you don't have a team that can help you out with serve receive and with getting a good pass to the setter who can put it in the right place and knowing when that ball's coming over, which girl on the floor is the one who's going to go for the ball.
Right.
It makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. And after the serve, I have a question for you, Greg. I'm confused about something.
No problem.
Now, I see one girl on each team having a different colored jersey than everybody else. Can you talk to the audience about what the heck's going on with there? Because I'm confused.
Yeah, so number 15 for Innovation and number 18 for Aerospace are the designated liberos.
Okay, and what does that mean?
That means they're essentially the defensive specialists on the team. So on a normal position in volleyball, you're rotating through the court from a 1 position, which is when you are serving the ball.
Okay.
And then you go through the back row to 2 and 3, and then up to the front row, 4, 5, and 6.
I see.
And every time your team gains possession of the serve, you rotate 1 spot.
Okay.
But what the libero is able to do is continuously rotate through the back row.
Oh, okay.
So if you're paying attention to number 15 here, when she would move to the front row, she technically subs out for one of the girls who comes back row. But she
okay.
is not allowed to serve twice
I see.
in a single rotation. So the only time she does come out is when someone is serving in her spot.
I see. Now, is the libero is that a strategical thing for the coaching staff, or is that something that all teams typically use, or how is that typically used for strategy in terms of volleyball?
Great question. It's not something that is mandatory, and from the games I've seen Innovation play over the season, I'd say maybe 2/3 to 3/4 of the teams use the libero. But it really just depends. If you have a player who is really good at moving her feet in the back row, able to get into position, consistently make that first pass to the setter, then you want that person back there all the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
But in other teams, they develop the team pretty equally, and there's no one person that stands out in the back row, then you don't need to use it.
I see. Oh, thanks for that insight. That makes a whole lot more sense now that they have different jerseys.
A missed serve there from number 1, junior Linnea Vargas. And that puts it to 17-14 lead for Aerospace. Still pretty tight as they're coming into the final couple points of the match.
Absolutely. And Sydney Ball's here on the serve, number 10 for Aerospace. Antoinette Dingwall with a nice little hit over the top.
Yep. Wow. An impressive play right there on both teams to keep this one alive.
I was speechless there for a minute because I didn't think it was going to get over, and then all of a sudden it's still alive. Big point.
Innovation celebrating right there after winning that one.
I can feel the ground shaking behind me from this crowd. Goodness gracious.
This brings number 2, senior Vicky Merced, up to serve. She's one of our players who has been working on her jump serve all season. And point there to Aerospace after jousting. So jousting, right?
When I don't know about that one. Let's hear it.
Front row players on both sides jump up because the ball is kind of wavering in between either side of the net, and you use both hands to push at the ball and just try and knock it over onto the other side.
Camilla Ars with the serve for Aerospace.
Good set and a swing there from number 12, Palambizio.
Hazel Patel knocks it over. And point to Aerospace.
And there it is. We were talking about the importance of communication. That was a free ball. It should have been an easy setup for Innovation, but number 1 and 15 were not communicating as to who was going to receive that.
I see. And update on score. It's 19-15, still in our first set. Aerospace is leading. Now 19-16 with that point from Innovation.
Excellent play. Number 12, Palambizio, subbing out for number 8, Torres, who will be up to serve.
And for Aerospace, we have Camilla Ars coming out with Griselda Acosta subbing in.
Short serve there, which sometimes can catch teams off guard.
So, Greg, I know in ping pong, if I hit the net when I'm serving it, I have to reserve it. Same with tennis. In volleyball, I can hit the net as it's being served?
Absolutely. There are a couple different ways you can score and play volleyball.
Sydney Ball with a great point there.
That was a great hit.
Yeah.
What we use here is called rally scoring.
Okay.
So
can you explain that to the crowd?
Absolutely. So that means, like we said before, you play to 25 points, and you can earn a point on every play. You're also allowed to hit the net on a serve, and it doesn't stop. Another method of playing, which actually back when I was in high school, the first 2 years we used, games were only to 15 points.
Oh, wow.
But you had to have the serve in order to score a point. An ace right there from Aerospace puts them in good position.
That's 2 in a row for Adriana Ramirez, number 5. The only senior for Aerospace.
So you played to 15. You had to have possession of the serve to get a point. And if you hit the net on a serve over, you would get 1 reserve. And if you hit it again, you would lose the point.
It seems like rallying scoring's much more of a better flow, and at least for the common fan like I am, a little easier to follow.
A little easier to follow, a little more exciting, and prevents the games from getting into an extreme gridlock where you just go back and forth, serve to serve.
Right.
In rally scoring, you still have to win by 2, as we said, but generally games don't go into the 30s or things like that. So Aerospace is in a good position right now to win this first set, but Innovation could conceivably come back. They're down 17-23 right now. Strong swing. Hernandez received it. Aquila hits it deep.
It's a good little rally right here.
Yeah, this is impressive.
Both sides.
Tip.
Okay, can you explain that call by the official, please?
Yeah, so they called essentially a violation on the Innovation setter, number 3, Molly Corcoran. And the ref put 2 fingers up, which indicates that Molly's hands did not hit the volleyball at the same time.
Oh, I see.
If you hit one after the other, that's a double, and that is not allowed. Excellent swing there from our freshman center, Patrice Broughton, keeping Innovation in this one.
I was going to say.
They're now down 18-24. So a single mistake here for Innovation, and Aerospace will take the first set.
It's a very big point by the freshman. Ice water in her veins.
Free ball coming over. Sets outside. Good push from DaCosta.
Aerospace looking to close out right here.
Great
for
swing.
Game 1. Innovation does not want to give it away too easily. Faith Mitchell. And
so Aerospace will take that first set. Again, a little rules violation there. It was a good block from Innovation, but one of the girls ran into the net. And of course, touching the net would give a point to the other team.
I've in my beach volleyball days, I've chewed on many nets in my day. I've lost my balance, and I'm not the best volleyball player. So I've gone full speed at the net and realized that I wasn't about to make the play. So I understand their pain just then. And so can you talk to us about the girls? I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but we're switching sides right now. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the teams switch sides between each set. It's similar to, in a soccer game, you switch sides on the half, or football, they do a similar thing. So there's a little more movement back and forth.
Okay.
It's nice for our camera because then we get to see the game from different angles each time and sort of focus a little more on each team.
Yeah, no, it's great. All right, and welcome back to game 2, or set two of the CRAL championship between Aerospace and Innovation. We're looking at a 1-0 lead for Aerospace. We have a little bit of a different lineup, so I'll go through who's in right now for Aerospace. We have Antoinette Dingwall, Sydney Ball, Adriana Ramirez, Faith Mitchell, Hazel Patel, and Nisi Soto for Aerospace. And Greg, do you mind running through who's on the floor for Innovation?
Yeah, no problem. We've got number 4, Keshiani Hidalgo, number 15, Kenya Hernandez, number 2, Vicky Merced, number 3, setter Molly Corcoran, number 6, Aquila DaCosta. And we actually just had a substitution.
Quick sub,
so
yeah.
Patrice Broughton has gone out, and Catherine Palambizio has come in. Good jump serve from Kenya.
Innovation off to a hot start, 2-0. Now, something we were mentioning in our mid-game discussion is the age difference between these two teams, and I know Innovation's coming in with some real great experience that's making them a tough out, and Aerospace is the young up-and-coming team really trying to make their name. Looking at the roster, Aerospace has one senior, Adriana Ramirez, who just had that nice set for Sydney Ball.
Nice block, too.
Absolutely. And it's really exciting at Aerospace to have such a young team and promising future moving forward.
Yeah, on the other side, Innovation has 7 seniors on their varsity team. Many of them are starters. And they're definitely hoping for the younger girls to watch and learn as they have all season, especially this game, so they can keep up a good team into the next season. Setter Molly Corcoran there called for that same violation. Her hands did not hit the ball at the same time on her set.
I see. And Faith Mitchell just got subbed out for Ashley Rinaldi for the Aerospace side.
Big swing from DaCosta. It sneaks over the net and lands for another point. Now she'll be serving.
Great play for the Innovation.
Lands out, and a point to Aerospace.
I have a question. If the ball hits the line, is that considered in or out in terms of like a serve or just the regular play action?
That is considered in.
Okay.
And generally in volleyball, you have the 2 referees who are standing on either side of the net. One of them is elevated.
Okay.
But you would also typically have a line judge who would stand on opposite corners, like back corners, and watch between the 2 of them the 4 lines.
They're the ones with the flags, right? I
Yes,
think I've
with
seen
the
those
flags.
before, absolutely.
This season, though, the CRAL League decided to move away from using the line judges. It typically would fall on the responsibility of the JV team to pick 1 girl from each team to stand and do line judging. And they've just decided that no offense to the girls involved, but it was too unreliable.
Understood.
But it has led to some plays over the season where I'm sitting on the sideline and I can see that it's in or out, and it doesn't line up with the ref's call. And no fault to the ref, but it can be difficult to make that call from the center of the court.
That's definitely a tough angle for sure. Nice little rally here. Kept alive. Oh, good hustle by Nisi Soto.
And that was a good swing right there from DaCosta on Innovation. She received a bump set from the setter, and it was off the net, and it could have been a free ball where she just gently bumped it over, but she decided to be risky and go for a swing, and it paid off for her.
And I've heard you a few times use the term swing. Is that layman's term for spike?
Yeah, for a spike. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know I oftentimes try to spike up, but my vertical leap isn't what it used to be, and I oftentimes fall short on my spike action.
And it's the 3rd time there our setter's been called on that same thing. Her hands are hitting the ball at slightly different times.
All right, we have a couple subs coming in. Lori Mabel and Camilla Arce subbing in for Aerospace. Camilla to serve. Camilla's a sophomore here at Aerospace. Die-hard volleyball player. Great serve. Great way to keep it alive by Innovation. And great point by Innovation.
That was a good hit from number 4, like you said, Hidalgo. We would call that a cut when you hit it across the court.
Okay.
So it was a smart play. The block was strong on the line, and the defense had fallen back to receive it. So she hit it short and across the court, where it was harder for the defense to retrieve.
I see. So if you get the defense to change direction, that's typically going to turn out in the offensive favor?
Exactly. If you're going up to hit and you receive a good set, a smart player will scan the defense before they go up to see, are there any openings, are there any holes? Sometimes that would then turn into just tipping the ball if they've fallen back because they think you're going to hit it long. It could even be noticing that one member of the other team is struggling to receive a hit, and you keep trying to hit it towards that same player.
I see.
So there's definitely more strategy going on than just I'm going to jump up and swing as hard as I can.
Maybe that's why I'm so I find this such to be so challenging in my beach volleyball days. Is I just swing around the ball and hope it goes somewhere I like it.
And it goes both ways, because then on the defensive end, you want to learn the tendencies of the hitters on the other team, which locations they seem to favor. And also watch their body language. When they go up to swing, you can generally tell where they're going to be swinging towards.
I see.
So a smart defensive player will move her feet because these girls are hitting it hard. And if you're not in the right spot, it's really difficult to change your location.
Absolutely. And to me, that sounds like a lot of that comes with experience, and I think that's why the innovation squad looks so solid out, is because they are so experienced with the 7 seniors you mentioned at the start of this game.
We're in the middle of an incredible rally right now. Just both teams scrambling on defense, refusing to give up the point.
You got to love that passion here in the championship match.
And a smart decision there from the setter to tip it over. Kind of caught Aerospace's defense off guard.
Innovation takes an 8-5 lead here in the second set.
Serve is short, so Aerospace will have a chance to come back a little bit here.
Faith Mitchell subbing in for Ashley Rinaldi, and Faith is going to serve the ball here. Faith is a straight A student here at Aerospace, hard worker in the classroom and hard worker on the hardwood. Looking at the Aerospace squad, I know we have a lot of multi-sport athletes, which I think helps a whole lot in terms of just having a feel for the game and being able to adjust as the game goes along. Do you have a lot of multi-sport athletes on the Innovation squad?
We absolutely do, and over at Innovation, I coach indoor and outdoor track, and a lot of these girls are my track athletes. Perhaps unsurprisingly, some of them are jumpers.
Oh, yeah, that does not surprise me whatsoever.
But I think it definitely helps, and I know a couple of the girls who don't play basketball or track are looking to play in some leagues over the winter.
Great.
There's a couple of different leagues around the state of Connecticut, and if you're able to travel, Connecticut Juniors and Connecticut Husky are both great for off-season play.
Awesome. That's one thing I think going from the middle school level to the high school / varsity level that a lot of players don't always understand is you have to be in shape 12 months out of the year, 365 days, because if you show up at the beginning of the season just thinking everything will fall into place, you'll find out that other teams aren't doing that. And I think both these teams are maybe not playing year-round, but at least staying in shape year-round, which is a huge, huge help.
And under this really powerful serve from number 1 on Aerospace, they have retaken a lead here. They're up 11-8.
Faith Mitchell with the serve and the ace.
There it is, another ace, and it's coming off her hand like a rocket.
Yeah, you could feel the momentum shifting here a little bit at Aerospace. The girls are fired up, and the crowd behind them is getting into it as well. Something I always think about in terms of games and travel is that long bus ride. And I know Innovation had to come all the way from New Britain to up here in Windsor, Connecticut. And I know that can be a long bus drive. And sometimes it can be good to get you focused, and sometimes you overthink it. And you always just wondered what the psychological factor of that long trip can do for our players.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot. We were talking about momentum before, and a lot of that has to do with, your emotional state and your headspace as you're playing the volleyball game. And if you come in flat, that's definitely going to hurt. And if you go through those periods in the game where you're just not enthusiastic, you're not pumped up, it really makes you lose that competitive edge. And there are times where you'll watch a team, and for 20 minutes at a time, they'll be playing phenomenal volleyball, and then they'll lose that momentum. They'll get in their heads about a mistake they made, and it looks like you're watching a completely different team.
Yeah.
So you can practice all you want, you can drill in those skills, and you can have knowledge of the game, but if you don't have the right frame of mind and the right emotion behind your play, it can be really hard to clinch a win.
Absolutely. That makes a ton of sense. A game between the ears instead of on the hardwood is definitely just as important as what's happening right in front of us here.
Innovation finally gets a serve back after that one, and they are trailing 10-14.
Good use of the libero right there.
Yep.
See, Greg, I'm learning. Good communication by Aerospace. Sydney Ball with the kill.
A great kill
right?
there.
Okay,
yeah,
see.
A great kill. And, I mean, if you're watching, both teams have a very strong defense. And so
yes.
if you're not swinging hard like that, you're most likely not going to get the point.
Okay.
You're either putting the ball in a smart position or you're swinging hard. If it's a free ball coming over, or if it's a roll, which is where you just kind of, you go up for the swing, but you're not hitting it that hard. You're putting backspin on the ball.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a point because these teams aren't letting the ball hit the ground. You can feel that they both want to win this championship title, and they're not going to give up easy points.
Understood. 11 serving 15 here. Antoinette Dingwall with the knock hit over.
Ooh, that one looked like it was going out, but Aerospace picked it up.
And Nisi Soto with the save.
Aerospace noticed that the setter was going for another tip on that. They were not going to be tricked again. They put up a block.
Sydney Ball hits it over. And point to Aerospace, 16-11. Ashley Rinaldi to sub in for Faith Mitchell. And Adriana Mulet Ramirez to serve.
Great dig from
Absolutely.
Vicky Merced on the serve receive. And an excellent swing deep.
That was
for the kill.
That was right at the edge. It was tough to get for Aerospace. Phenomenal shot by Innovation. Kill by Innovation.
So an error on that serve. It's back over to Aerospace. They're leading 17-12. Pretty good position. So we're entering the second half of this second set.
Sydney Ball with the serve. Oh. Antoinette Dienwald hits it a little wide for the point going to Innovation. Hazel Patel with the hard hit. Great stop or block by Innovation.
Yeah, and we got another strong back and forth here. Back row hit from number 10 on Aerospace, and Innovation able to receive it and keep this alive.
Antoinette Dingwald with the kill. Nisi Soto subbed out for Lori Mabel. Antoinette Dingwall subbed out for Camilla Arce, who is set to serve. Number 9 for Aerospace. Kamija with the serve.
Just missed timing there. It was a good set, but number 12 swung a little late, hit into the net.
And scores now 19-13, Aerospace over Innovation. Camilla with the ace there. The girls here on the bench are fired up for their teammates.
Yeah, and I think this is a make or break moment right now for this set. Is Innovation going to be able to get their heads back into it? Aerospace has a momentum. They've made a mistake there, a little miscommunication. Can they roll with it and bring it back? Or are they going to let that stop them? And that's a good indication right there. A kill from Keshiani Hidalgo.
Being a group full of seniors, it doesn't look like they're going to be rattled by much here tonight.
And Yonetzi Torres and Patrice Broughton checking in for the Ravens.
As well as Griselda Acosta coming in for Camilla Arce. Now, is it typically the goal or the strategy to
Another solid swing from Hidalgo.
Is it typically the goal and strategy to get a bump, a set, and then a spike or a hit?
Absolutely. And on that play, you might have noticed that the setter from Innovation was the one to receive the ball there. So when she's out, again, communication is crucial. She has to call setter out, and someone on the team has to pick up the slack.
I see.
And that might be, predetermined by the girls who's going to get that, but it might also just be a matter of circumstance, whoever's closest and is able to get it.
I see. That makes sense. Faith Mitchell comes in for Ashley Rinaldi. Faith Mitchell set to serve for here for Aerospace.
And it was under her serve that Aerospace took their initial lead here in this set. So let's see what they can do with it.
Yeah. Solid serve, but great return by Innovation. Hazel Patel sends it over.
I believe they called Aerospace for hitting the net on that one.
I was a little confused on that. We got a 21-16 Aerospace leading Innovation set here in our second set. Great serve. That came out like a missile.
Free ball from Aerospace. Recovered nicely by the libero. Good swing from Hidalgo, but Aerospace's defense is tight, ready to go.
We got another great volley. I've lost count of how many good volleys we've had here.
Well,
and out.
We said going in that this would be a good match, and the girls have certainly not disappointed.
Not one bit. This has been fun to watch from the first point up until now, late here in the second set, 22-16.
Nice jump serve there from number 11.
Absolutely. I know I would not want to be on the receiving end of some of these serves, both for Innovation and Aerospace. Hazel Patel puts it to 23-16 Aerospace. That one finds the net. Serve goes to Innovation.
And if Innovation were to launch a comeback in this set, now would be the time. They are down 17-23. Aerospace just needs 2 more points to seal the deal, so they cannot afford any mistakes at this point.
A good hustle there by
Great dig
Adriana.
there from number 5, diving onto the floor and keeping it alive.
That one for Innovation sails just a tad bit long. We have some subs coming in. Nisi Soto and Antoinette Dingwall coming in for Lori Mabel and Griselda Acosta. Nisi Soto to serve. This is game point for the record. And set goes to Aerospace. It's now a 2-0 Aerospace lead.
And it'll be best of 5, so 1 more set for Aerospace to clinch the title, or 3 in a row for Innovation.
Based on what I've seen, Innovation is not going to go away easily, so I'm looking forward to seeing a senior group fight for the championship here. All right, we move into our third set. Aerospace leading 2-0, two sets to nothing over Innovation, needing a third set to win the championship. But knowing this Innovation squad, they will not go away easily.
Yeah, both the first 2 sets, we've seen some really great volleyball from both teams and some tight scores in the first half of the set. And both times, Aerospace was able to take a 4 or 5 point lead and then hold on to it till the end. We'll see if Innovation is able to do something a little different in this third set to keep their hopes alive, or if Aerospace will come out strong again and seal the deal.
And as we mentioned in set 1 or 2, it seems like serving is being a huge part of this score here. I know Aerospace had a few strings of good serves together, which got them some points early on, or later in the sets here, and Innovation's off to a good start with a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Hernandez, number 15, great jump serve, and you just saw an excellent kill there from number 2, Vicky Merced, a long line drive.
Aerospace ties it up. Nisi Soto and Antoinette Dingwall sub in for, I believe, Kalia Brown and Griselda Acosta, excuse me.
And that was 4 hits there from Aerospace. I'm sure those of you following along, if you didn't know explicitly, you figured it out by now. You have 3 hits per side to get it over.
And I'm a U.S. history teacher, but I can count to 3, and that was definitely an extra one, number 4, and so the point goes to Innovation. Good hustle by Nisi. You could hear the knee scrape against the hardwood, but she pops right back up, ready to play.
Absolutely.
Great rally here. Both sides.
Good block, but a dive from Vicky Merced, refusing to give up that point.
Oh, this is entertaining stuff right here. Catherine Palambizio, former Aerospace student, knocks it over the net.
Wow. The hustle on this play is incredible.
Oh, it's great. It's what championships are made for.
You can tell that these teams know their craft.
Innovation with the big point, big momentum. The bench is into it. The crowd's here making the trip all the way from New Britain. They want to see their team go out fighting.
And number 1, Lanesha Vargas, they're stuffed by the net on that serve. And she will sub out for Aquila DaCosta, number 6.
And Ashley Rinaldi comes in for Aerospace as Adriana Ramirez is set to serve. I mean, that thing's barely, we're talking centimeters above the net. That's got to be tough to return, but Innovation's able to do so.
Yeah, it was came down short and it came quick, and Hidalgo was able to lean forward and get it under enough control that her team could do something with it.
I've been on the wrong end of that serve before. We ran a volleyball club, and I was asked to be the chaperone for the club, and these girls taught me a thing or two for volleyball, and they more or less beat me up. I know I was sore the next day, and I could barely hit a return over the net after they served it. So I only have respect for the Innovation girls for being able to handle these serves and not only handle them, but get some points out of them as well.
Yeah, an easy point there for Innovation due to a rare miscommunication for the Jets. They just 2 girls looking confused as to who would pick it up. But we said before, there have been very few errors on either side.
That's
and
great to see.
For Innovation, it's mostly been swings that go wild or hit into the net, but that's still an indication that they're going up there, they're trying to get the kill, and that's the type of error you would like to see as a coach.
Of course.
The ones from the miscommunication or just a poor passing, kind of the more novice mistakes, we're not seeing those tonight.
No. Innovation takes an early lead and definitely feeling some momentum their way. These girls want this championship, and being down 2-0 is not stopping them from going for their goal.
And you mentioned a couple times now student athletes from actually both teams that have been in your classroom. Number 8, Jonetsi Torres, who just had a nice serve there. She is a junior that I have had the pleasure of teaching 3 times in her career at Innovation.
Wow.
In both 6th, 7th, and 10th grade.
Wow.
And I know it's a little off topic, but it is a wonderful thing about our schools being grades 6 to 12
Absolutely.
is seeing the kids progress both academically and athletically.
Absolutely. I know I taught 7th grade for several years, and now I'm fortunate enough to be teaching 9th grade, and just that 2-year difference is enormous. But I can only imagine seeing a student as a little 6th grader now going to their sophomore year and now playing as a junior. That's got to be a huge amount of growth in terms of their progress and whatnot. Camilla RC sends the serve over.
Good swing from Hidalgo, finds an open spot on the floor, and we're tied up at 6.
One thing I love to see is just the good attitude and sportsmanship from both teams. There's no trash talking, just smiles on their faces the whole time, playing hard, but still being competitive and wanting to win. That's something you love to see in sports.
Yeah, the CRAL League really promotes sportsmanship, and one new initiative this year has been the Sportsmanship Bracelet.
Right.
So essentially at the end of each match, whether it's a volleyball match or a cross-country meet or a soccer game, the players get together and they pick one member from the opposing team who demonstrated excellent sportsmanship and reward them with a bracelet that's, in their school colors. And I've seen the kids from all 3 of those fall sports teams wearing their bracelets with pride around the school. And it's really been a positive initiative.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a level of understanding in terms of athleticism that being competitive but being a good sport can go hand in hand. And I love that CRAL is able to promote that through the efforts of John Weiner, really promoting this with CREC. And I'm so happy to see that it's taken hold within our young athletes, and they're really embracing this initiative.
Yeah, excellent kill there from number 6, Acosta. And I think that's absolutely right. Here in our league, we're promoting, great play, and we want to develop skills, but we're trying to develop good people. And
absolutely.
Like we said, seeing these kids in the classroom, on the team, they're gaining skills that are going to help them throughout their life. And it's really nice to feel that positive energy in the gym. It's not just the players, it's the fans, it's the other students that are here supporting. It's not the type of situation where people are getting heated, yelling at the ref,
No.
throwing foul words back and forth at each other.
Right.
And a great block there from Broughton. Unfortunately, her team was unable to pick up on that, and Aerospace took the points. But she's really helped us out this year as a freshman. She can get a nice vertical on that jump and extend those long arms, and that was impressive.
No, that's scary that she's only a freshman. She's going to do some damage in this league for the years to come. Faith Mitchell subbed in as we were finishing up that there. Hazel Patel sends it over.
Back row swing from Hernandez.
Back to Aerospace. Kalia Brown hits it over. Another good rally. Good communication on both sides.
A good play from Broughton to keep that one alive after the setter was out. And jousting here that was won by Aerospace, and they'll get the point. They're making a little comeback here.
All right, we're up to 10-8. Innovation is leading here in the 3rd set over Aerospace. Faith Mitchell set to serve. That one falls short. She taps her chest saying, my bad, my bad. But she's going to be ready for the next play, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, that ability to shake it off when you make a mistake is crucial. We've talked about it a few times, but if you let those things get to you, there are so many points on the line throughout the course of a volleyball match. You can't focus just on the 1 or 2.
Great point, Greg.
And setter Molly Corcoran called for a violation again there.
I see. Number 11, Abby Stininger coming in. Or number 6, excuse me. Set to serve. Oh, we got a lefty with a great serve. Outside of just athletics growing, the hype of athletics has grown. I know today the topic of conversation throughout the hallways and in a lot of classes was the championship games tonight. And I had many girls coming up to me asking me if I was coming, if I'd be there. And a lot of other students were saying, yeah, we're staying after. We're going to get our homework done between the end of school and the start of the game, and we're going to be ready to cheer on our team. And that's just nice to see that camaraderie extending past just the volleyball girls and really into the student body.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of pride in our athletics within the school buildings, and it's great that the kids have so much support.
Absolutely.
Missed serve there from Hernandez, and Innovation still holding on to a small lead right now. They're up 12-10.
With Nisi Soto ready to serve.
And you see right there, the miscommunication is what gave up the point for the Ravens. And this is, the third set. They're down 2-0, so they need to get on top of that if they're going to keep their dreams of a championship alive.
Absolutely. One thing I've noticed about the Aerospace bunch is they are phenomenal at communication. You can hear them screaming, mine, mine. You can hear them talk about over. And that's just being a person who doesn't understand volleyball much, but understanding the importance of communication. You can tell they've got that down pat.
And this is, how many times have we said it, but this is another excellent volley back and forth. Just a couple times where it looked like either team was about to get a point, but the defense is incredible.
It really is. I can't imagine being out there and not only just the defense, but the stamina of being able to jump, stay in good fundamental position, and making a good play. These athletes are incredible. Looks like that point went to Aerospace, which ties it up here in the third set.
And the game is now tied up, 12-12.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. That was a phenomenal hit by Sydney Ball.
Yeah, the power on that one. And our defense was in the right place, but she hit it with enough momentum that we weren't able to receive it.
I mean, Sydney's explosion and vertical leap has grown immensely just in this school year. I mean, she's playing above the net, hitting down, and really bringing some great velocity on that. I know she plays outside of Aerospace as well in other leagues, and it's really shown here in the championship match.
Yeah, and that ability to get a kill on a swing like that, yes, it's about swinging hard with enough momentum, but it's about timing your jump. You want to be hitting the ball at the apex of that jump so that you can hit it down.
Absolutely.
Right? And everything came together on that play.
Another great rally we're looking at here. Oh, Antoinette gets it over with a smile on her face. So how important is it for the set in terms of when you're setting up for a big hit? Does the set have to be on the money, or can a good leaper make anything work?
A good set definitely makes the difference. And you want it to be high enough that you have time to get there and get into position. You want it to be just off the net so you're not colliding into the net. But a good hitter can work with things within range, and and figure out when is the right time to swing as hard or to just tip where they're hitting it with their finger pads.
Okay.
Or to even do a push, which is where you hit it with two hands like a set over the top. And at the end of that incredible play there, we are tied up again, 13-13.
You can feel the adrenaline rubbing off these players. Oh, it looks like the ball might have hit that light up there. I guess that's a fair play, but point goes to Innovation.
Yeah, so that's an interesting point. Some gymnasiums have more or fewer things hanging down from the ceiling. If the ball hits something on the ceiling, but it's not going over the net, you can still play it. So if it goes straight up, hits a light, comes down, you can still play at it.
Okay.
But if it hits something on the ceiling on the way over, then it no longer counts.
I see, and that's what happened there. It hit on Aerospace's side, and it stayed on Aerospace's side. So point goes to Innovation.
And a friendly roll off the net.
Absolutely.
That Aerospace able to take the lead 15-14 here.
Absolutely. Adriana Ramirez looking for her second serve here.
And she follows up a short serve with a long serve. It's definitely good to keep the defense on their toes. She gets another ace.
Yeah, that
extends the lead to 2.
That variety of serves definitely helped her out there.
You know, and that takes definitely from skill development and confidence by the server. You know, I jumped in at practice last week and this week with our innovation team now that cross country is over, and I haven't played in a while. And when I go up to serve, I'm praying to get it over and to get it in.
Yeah.
These girls are precision, pinpointing where they're going to hit it. And another ace there, widening that lead, 18-14.
That's awesome. Something I would love to see is volleyball becoming a boys sport as well, because I know you said you played, and I know I graduated from Southington High. That was a big volleyball school in terms of for boys volleyball, and I know a lot of our boys would love to be playing this, and our girls could 100% teach them a thing or two.
Yeah, boys volleyball at the high school level is a spring sport, and it is something I believe we might have had in the past at a few of the CREC schools, but it kind of fell out of fashion. But I feel like with the success of the girls' teams, it certainly could make a resurgence. And right now, we're looking at Aerospace on a string of unanswered points. They're up 20-14.
I know they might be starting to smell this as the point goes to Innovation there.
Yeah, the serve was wide, and this is do or die time right now for Innovation.
Absolutely. Aerospace looks determined, keeping some rough points alive. That was a nice save there. Sydney with the kill.
An excellent swing. And
they are pumped
Coach
up
Lance
over there.
here is getting on the court, giving some advice to the setter.
Sydney Ball, who just made that last kill, is set to serve.
That's the second one I've seen from her that has just been phenomenal.
It really has, and she's pumped up. She wants to finish this game off, this set off with the win. Unfortunately, it sailed a little bit. She knows it. She's laughing, but she'll be locked in, ready for this next point coming up.
And number 7, Patrice Broughton, and number 8, Janetzi Torres checking in. Janetzi will be serving here at a crucial time in this third set.
Nisi Soto to Sydney. Sydney sails it there again. Innovation staying alive. They are not going to go down without a fight.
17-21, trying to crawl back from behind.
Adriana to Antoinette. Oh, and that one was in.
Lands deep, but within the lines.
That seemed like a slow arcing rainbow that found a magic spot in the court.
And Palambizio checking in temporarily to allow libero 15, Kenya Hernandez, back into the match.
With Camilla Arce ready to serve. She's had some good serves earlier. Let's see if she can continue it. And there's another one. Ooh. Makes it very, very close to a championship point. We're at 23-17.
You could feel Vicky Merced trying to make up her mind. Is that going in? Is that going out? And just reacting a little too late on it.
Yeah, you can't see the line in the back of your head, so that's got to be tough.
Big swing from freshman Patrice Broughton. Lands deep and in. To keep innovation alive, 18-23.
Freshman with a big point there to keep our team alive.
And this is about the spot we found ourselves in each of the three sets.
Definitely feels a little bit of deja vu here. Hazel Patel sends it over from Kalia Brown. The freshman again. Oh, good save by Sydney.
What a save from number 3, Molly Corcoran, diving to keep this play alive.
Ashley Rinaldi with 15. A great hit.
Swing from the back row on number 2, Merced, and it's just back and forth.
Oh, both these teams want it so bad. And it goes to innovation. They are fighting here tonight.
19-23.
Oh, communication there. Get it over. Good dig. Oh. We have the championship point coming up here for Aerospace. Faith Mitchell set to serve. Faith Mitchell.
And the crowd is electric right now, knowing that they're 1 point away from clinching a championship.
We even have our principal, Adam Johnson, cheering here. It's great to see.
And it won't be on that point at least. Innovation staying alive on a missed serve.
Absolutely.
20-24. Number 4, Cassiani Hidalgo taking the serve.
I love the shoes here. They look great.
And you got to feel for the pressure, knowing you can't mess up that serve.
Oh my goodness! My knees would be buckling together. I'd be so nervous.
I think this is where her experience as a senior definitely comes into play.
And there's your championship, folks. Aerospace able to close it out. Phenomenal fight. Greg, what do you think about this matchup between these two teams?
This has been a fantastic game, and I don't think Innovation can be upset with that result. They lost all 3 sets by a similar margin. The last one there, 25-20, but they fought hard. They went down swinging, literally, with Patrice Broughton on that last play. And both teams, I think, are phenomenal. If you are interested in keeping up with these teams, they are both competing in the state tournament.
Yes.
And so Innovation will be playing on Monday. They have not found out their opponent yet. And you said Aerospace has a bye for the first round.
Aerospace actually has a 2 seed. They are ranked number 2 for Class M, I believe, in the state tournament. So both these teams will continue to play. Although it fell short for Innovation, Greg, it was awesome seeing a lot of your girls that you've taught play. They're a hard-working team, and I'm looking forward to keeping tabs on them in the state playoffs.
Absolutely, and it's been a pleasure to announce this game with you.
All right. Again, Aerospace wins the CRAL championship, 3-0 over Innovation.